I've always wondered to myself, is there something that helps the entrepreneurs that succeed that they have which other entrepreneurs don't? Is it something they know? Is it how they run their businesses? Is it the people they hire? Is it where they went to school? Is it their socialization, their background, their education, their mental spaces? What is it that makes the entrepreneur succeed? Welcome to my masterclasses, where I share with you everything you need to know about how to become a high-growth, high-scale entrepreneur. I'm joined by guests. We break down the myths, the ideas, the myths, the legends, everything you need to know to become a high-growth entrepreneur. Warning, this is the High Performance Zone.
Meaning your construction business, nah? In the construction business. And most of the stuff that you say sounds very, very nice, very complex. But then when you get into that world, it's difficult to apply them. Well, nonetheless, my question here is, okay, so we're doing electrical, instrumentation, mechanical. So horizontal is construction, and then vertical, we are going to, we're going to do training. Yeah. Because we're lacking artisans. We don't have artisans, we don't have technicians. So now the challenge now on the horizontal side now is the funding. Yeah. So what happens because of in construction we don't do marketing, we don't do all these things. Yeah. We just do the job, we do it right, then word of mouth. The next person wants to work with you, and that person wants to work with you. To an extent that in our first year there was just 3 of us, just me, the lady who was building our safety system and everything, and our cleaner. Yeah. That's the maid at home. Yeah. So 3 employees, and then we started tendering and everything. The following year, 10 of us, and then year number 3, that's last year. Sorry, last year, early this year. Yeah. I have 40 employees now. Sure. So we're turning maybe 100,000. Then our first financials were 800,000. Now the current one down 2 million. And then the management accounts now, they're above 4 million. Cool. So now the growth is doing exactly that. Growth, yeah. But now, to harness the growth, to cushion it, we need money. Yeah. We need, there's a guy who said the banks, they don't even look at us. Like when you go into the bank, they call the police to come and arrest you. This guy I love that. Yeah, they don't want to see you. So now we need, I wanted to ask you, when we applied to come here, they said you must ask you a question. Yes. So I did ask don't you have like venture capitalists? Because we depend on those people. A person who can really say, look, Teddy, I see you're doing quite well. I'm working at Sasso. We're selling all the way from Secunda. Yeah. So that side of life, construction is strong on that side, and the profit margins are pretty much good because we don't have a lot of competition, especially in my field. It's electrical, instrumentation is a high risk. That's how they classify it. We specialize in quite a lot, and also in air conditioning. So and there's a few black guys, if at all they are there, especially in the youth gap. So it's a big boys game. So now to work in that space, you need to be strong in funding, because now Sasol gave us a project, just to give you an example. We signed this year in March for 2.5 million. But even before we could finish it, they said they are happy with how we're doing our work. They've never seen a young guy, black, and they're doing such a good quality work. So we deliver value, spoke about value. Now they're giving us another one. It's twice the size of this one. It's 5 million now. Yeah. And I'm thinking, where am I going to get the money to run this thing? But they believe in me. But unfortunately, because of their experience with other companies, they can't do advance payments and all that. They try to help you as far as possible, but they can't do it too much. And yet they want you to really push. So yeah, my challenge is there on yeah.
I got you. I understand the question. Okay, so yours is not as much funding as it is working capital, right? And I do want to make a distinction, because funding is equity, working capital is short term. And what you never want to do is to take long-term capital for a short-term problem. The opposite is VBS. They took short-term capital, but lended it long-term. took money from depositors, which has a call option on it, which means it must be available in 48 hours if the municipality calls it, but then lent it to a person to lend for 20 years. So yours is the other way, which is you have a short-term working capital problem, but you don't want necessarily to give equity away. Remember, guys, in finance, I wish I had the time. We don't now. I would literally run you through the model. But in a working capital model, or it's called a capital structure model. In a capital structure model, long-term funding is the most expensive form of funding, equity. Because once I have 10% of your business, I have 10%. Whereas if I give you 100,000, you give me 110,000 back, I'm gone. Yeah. So the question you're saying is there venture capital? Yeah. What you're not looking for is VC per se, because venture capital is long-term based. What you are looking for is some sort of short-term arbitrage. And there are ways to do it. The very popular one here is invoice discounting, where you get an invoice, you go to a person, they pay you, and then they take the difference. So let's say you get an invoice for 100,000, you give it to a client, but you need the money now. You take it to someone, they give you 80,000, then they collect the 100, keep the 20 as profit. It's called invoice discounting. Very popular. The alternative, if I was you, is I would think about how do I syndicate high net worth individuals, people you might know, to cushion it, which is very hard. The third is I would think about whether or not I have a fixed asset that I can use. And then what you might want to do, I did it actually, true story, when I first started the business. Went to the bank and I was like, look, I want to take this kind of risk. I have assets worth R1 million, say. And I said to the bank, advance me R1 million, use the assets as collateral. Right? So I get the R1 million, but I still own the asset. If I default, you can take the asset and get your money out. Right? So that's what I would do. What I wouldn't do where you are, I wouldn't sell shares.
Yeah, because there's people approaching us also for shares.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because they're seeing the growth. 800,000, 2 million, 4 million. You're multiplying, which means logically after 4 is 8, after 8 is 16. So if I can buy 10% of you at 4 and exit with 10% of you at 16 in 2 years, stock market is not going to give me those rates of return. Yeah?
I actually did that with my previous company. I used to be a partner with another guy.
Yeah.
I got him turning, was turning 250,
Yeah.
2,000 a year. We worked for 5 years. When I left him, he was turning 19 million.
There you go.
So I can do that again with my own company. It's not a problem.
Absolutely.
We're heading in that direction.
Absolutely. What I would do, just a final note, is I'd focus on the things that matter. Deliver the projects, deliver them on time, build credibility, build name, build value, build brand. So even though you got a short-term working capital problem, you never ever want to compromise reputation. Because reputation is literally your income 5 years from now. Literally. Income 5 years from now is linked to reputation, not marketing, anything else. You made the very good point about your business is not about, so the thing about sales funnel, that ain't your game. You're not worried about sales funnel, or your business is just, can I do this job, do it well? Can I get people in the game to talk about what they know? And I must be the thing they know. Cool, man. Last question. Was it not? There was a question this side. No, there wasn't. I wanted to take a lady, but you've had your hand up for a long time. Please, would you maybe just stand there for us?
One thing.
Yeah.
With you were doing the training centers.
Oh, yeah. You want to know about that? Yeah? What do you want to ask me? What's up?
I wanted to offer a hand, like to put in aircons for free, wiring.
Love it. Thank you, my man. That's it. Wow. Well, our project manager is actually here, Utabo. He's at the back. I'll introduce you to him. He came to fix my jacket. He's project managing the whole program for us. Some of you asked me on social media what happened to the hub and vendor. Guys, can I? Chita, before you go, I'm going to say something, and this is going to go on the record, so I know I'll be destroyed for this, but it's my truth, so it. Black people were not ready for freedom. We weren't. We were not ready for freedom. I've studied everywhere we have been liberated, whether or not we were able to liberate ourselves from our own bondage. And it's a deep question. So, study us as a people. This is not a criticism, it's a reflection. If you differ, I'm happy to share perspectives. But study us as a people. you notice that everywhere where we are in bondage, we are phenomenal at fighting for our liberation. Once we've received it, something goes wrong. And the mindset is pervasive. And it's pervasive, it's invasive, it's insidious. It's like a virus. And if you try and remove, once a virus takes over a cell, it multiplies. And so the reason you can't remove the virus is the only way to kill it is to kill the host. That's where we are. So when a person amongst us does something, rather than celebrate, we ridicule. Rather than collaborate, we compete. Rather than support, we sabotage. I thought long and hard about why is this? Like it's been bugging me. And then I realized something. That whether it was apartheid, colonization, the Jim Crow laws in the US, all of those systems of oppression had one singularity in communication. They said to black people, only one. That's it. So in slavery days, there was only one house nigger. The rest of y'all worked in the field. When we negotiated for our South Africa, there was only Mandela at Codesa. All the other political parties had to sit and watch the ANC. When we got our liberation, there was only one Cyril at the board. Only one. So when a black person makes it, the rest of us go, shit, he's taken the seat. That's why we practice crabs in a bucket. We go, the only way I get that seat is if I'm Tatu Vusi Mbegala. We don't think multiplier. Make sense? So he's going, I want to make a supercar. Nobody's going, how do I make tires for a supercar? We all go, shit, now he's done it. I'm telling guys, this is my most honest reflection on, and I've thought about, do I share it on social media? I was just like, the time will come. This is felt right is the time. People will see this and I'll get slated for it, I'm sure. But I'm telling you now, I see it with me. The only people who attack are the people who want the seat. But here's what you're not seeing. I'm sitting where I'm sitting, and where I'm sitting, the system I'm fighting, if I get it right, opens for all of us. So, it's the guy who fights Makosa. It's the guy who fights Tula Cindy. It's the guy who fights a Trevor Noah. What you don't recognize is what they are doing in their spaces makes it okay for us to be in those spaces. So don't fight Batu, fight Nike. Don't fight Makosa, fight Gucci. Do you get it? Like your mind, it's all wrong, guys. The mindset is this thing. Hey, man, we must be here, man. My uncle always says, "Ndonak, how nema dula oblanga tanto, how nema dula." Okay, cool. So the point I'm making, and so I don't want to get into the details of what happened in Venda, but let me put it to you this way. We got sabotaged. We went in, we got the land. I invested over 8 million rand building our hub. We went in local supplies. Everything in my hub was done by local people. The paving, the electrification, the fencing, everything. 8 million rand I pumped into the local economy of Toyando. Then you know what happened? Proper sabotage. The municipal manager, the mayor, the commissioner of police, the police station manager, even the judge at the high court were all in on it. I've said this publicly, f him, let him sue me, I got the money. And I asked myself, why would they do it? Because it's very simple. In their minds, a young guy can't just come, just. No. He must respect first. And you're just like, I'm trying to change the world. Our hub was going to be free, guys, free. State of the art, running 4G networks, we're offering 200 accredited courses with the University of Pretoria, 100 more by Gibbs, and 100 by the London School of Economics. Collectively, the courses alone are going to cost me 4 million. I was going to find young entrepreneurs in the area, educate them for free to walk out with a diploma or degree. Then I was going to give them a hub that runs for free. You can just come and use it. Network, Wi-Fi, anything you want, just come and use it. It's yours. Why? Because it just makes sense too. The old people didn't see it that way. I think a lot of us are going to have to make a decision about who we're going to give the future of this continent to. Because the people in charge now, the old ones, they ain't got a clue what they're doing. They don't have a clue what they're doing. When you're going to pitch at that big business, I'm going to share some news for you down. I want to listen to this gentleman. When you're going to pitch for that opportunity at that big business, let me tell you, Van Tonder is the one supporting you. Mandla Sbego at the board is one going, no. Now, I know I've said some stuff that have cut deep, but you know what it hurt? Well, you know what they say, it only hurts if it's true. My brother, over to you. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the platform. My name is Feli Kanyiki. I just want to get some advice from you. We're running a business whereby we do visual merchandising. So basically, we
Kanyiki is Swahili?
No, Chiluba.
Oh, okay. That's close.
Whereby we do visual merchandising. We service Woolworth, Foshin, all the doors that you see.
Yeah.
So we make them and we fix them.
Yeah.
So what happened when you were talking about chain value, we did our own way seeing that we were only refurbishing before.
Yeah.
So we would like to get into manufacturing. Because of the capital issue, we say let us nurture with supplier. It happened that our suppliers are in China.
Yeah.
So we spoke to some Chinese company, they wanted to know everything about our business.
Sure.
Of intents. We give them all the information.
Sure.
So without knowing, because one Chinese that sell the raw material, there's going to say another Chinese.
That's right.
Mannequin.
That's right.
So they went straight to our clients.
That's it.
And they get all the information.
Good
And
man.
talking now, Chinese are selling directly to our client at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
We had that with Chinese, then we said let's go to Europe. So we travel around, we see some good manufacturers so because we can distribute. They want to know everything about you, if you're credible or not. And later on, they go straight speak to Fushinyo or wherever, and you're out of the business. So now, I want him to understand, being a small business, we want him to go, but how do we network with such people?
It's a great question. Yeah. It's a Nkosana Makate problem, right? And by the applause, it sounds like it resonates. Yeah. It's a Nkosana Makate problem, my guy. Here's what I would say to you, and I let me first admit this: I've not been where you are, so I don't have the authority to speak to your reality. I do want to say to you that the fact that you're here inspires me, because people try very hard, man, to pull that carpet from underneath you. And I want you to recognize that your being here is an inspiration to all of us, right? My thought would be that sometimes it's probably better to focus where you're good and build a capital base where you're good. And do that. I many years ago tried to start a speakers agency because I'm a speaker and I was being represented by agencies. So if I use my vertical integration model, it makes sense, right? Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work for many reasons, but some similar to yours. And so I recognized that maybe what I should do is focus on this rather than the other stuff. Again, I don't know anything else to offer you, but I would say to you, however you solve it, when you solve it, remember that for the rest of us, you're going to become the blueprint of how to fix this problem. I suspect that our Creator gave it to you because He knows you've got the shoulders to carry it. There's a thought.